Fear survives because we behave as if we have something left to lose. Reputation, comfort, approval, future security, imagined outcomes. The mind clings to these things and trembles at the thought of their disappearance. Yet the most feared warriors in history trained themselves under a single unsettling idea. They lived as if they were already dead. In doing so, fear lost its leverage. In ancient Japan, this principle was not poetic metaphor, but practical instruction. Samurai were taught to confront death before battle, to accept it fully in the mind so it no longer controlled the body. Zen monks practiced death contemplation to strip life of illusion. Miyamoto Musashi himself wrote of abandoning attachment to life and outcome. To the warrior, fear was not defeated by courage, but by surrender. Chapter 1. The Weight of Tomorrow. In the modern world, a man named Haru lived under constant pressure from imagined futures. Each decision felt heavy with consequence. He hesitated to speak honestly, fearing rejection. He delayed action, fearing failure. Even moments of rest were clouded by anxiety about what might come next. His body moved through the day, but his mind lived permanently ahead of him. Haru believed fear was natural and unavoidable. He tried to manage it through preparation and reassurance, yet it returned stronger each time. The more he protected himself, the more fragile he felt. Without realizing it, he was fighting fear on its own terms, and fear always wins that battle. Chapter 2. The Samurai's Instruction. In Bushido, warriors were taught to make peace with death before ever lifting a blade. This was not despair, but liberation. If death was already accepted, it could no longer be used as a threat. The mind became free to act without negotiation. Fear relies on imagined loss, and this practice removed its foundation. Zen teachings reinforced this discipline. Life was transient, identity impermanent, control illusory. By contemplating death daily, the warrior dissolved attachment to outcomes. Musashi understood this deeply. He walked into duels already prepared for death, and therefore impossible to intimidate. Chapter 3. Hearing the Uncomfortable Truth. Haru encountered this idea through a quiet text on Zen philosophy. One line unsettled him deeply. It suggested that fear persists because the self refuses to let go. Live as if already dead, it said, and fear has nowhere to stand. The phrase lingered, heavy and intrusive. At first, Haru rejected it. The thought felt extreme, even dangerous, yet something within him recognized its accuracy. Fear thrived in his attachment to future versions of himself. Without those projections, what remained to protect? Chapter 4. Death before action. The samurai practiced imagining death before combat. They visualized the blade, the fall, the stillness afterward. By facing the worst outcome in advance, the body ceased resisting it. When the moment came, the mind remained clear. Action followed without interference. Haru experimented with this practice in small ways. Before difficult conversations, he imagined the complete loss of approval. Before decisions, he imagined failure fully realized. Instead of avoiding these thoughts, he stayed with them. To his surprise, the intensity faded quickly. Chapter 5. Fear without illusion. Fear depends on uncertainty and resistance. Once the worst outcome was accepted, fear lost its urgency. Haru noticed his breath steadying in moments that once overwhelmed him. His body no longer reacted as violently. The mind stopped rehearsing escape. This was not numbness, but clarity. By surrendering imagined control, he regained real agency. The present moment felt sharper, more accessible. Fear became information rather than obstruction. Chapter 6. Mushin and no-mind Zen refers to Mushin, the state of no mind, where thought does not interrupt action. In this state, the self does not argue with reality. There is no clinging to success or fear of loss, only response. Haru recognized how much of his anxiety came from constant internal commentary, judging, predicting, defending. Through the death practice, that commentary weakened. Silence replaced negotiation. He began acting from presence rather than protection. Chapter 7. Identity falls away. To live as if already dead is to release identity. Titles, roles, expectations lose their grip. The warrior is no longer acting to preserve an image. He moves according to principle. Musashi rejected reputation and recognition for this reason. They create attachment, and attachment creates fear. Haru felt this shift slowly. He cared less about how actions would be perceived. He spoke with restraint but honesty. Decisions became simpler. Without an image to defend, there was nothing to fear losing. Chapter 8. Non-negotiable practices. The samurai did not rely on inspiration. They relied on ritual, daily contemplation of impermanence, quiet sitting, discipline of body and breath. These practices reinforced acceptance until it became instinct. Haru adopted one non-negotiable habit. Each morning, he sat in silence and acknowledged impermanence. Not abstractly, but personally. One day, this body would be gone. One day, this identity would dissolve. The reminder was grounding, not morbid. Chapter 9. Action without fear. As weeks passed, Haru noticed a subtle transformation. Situations that once paralyzed him now felt neutral. He still felt tension, but it no longer dictated behavior. Fear appeared, but did not command. This was the warrior's state, not fearless, but ungoverned by fear. Acceptance removed resistance, presence replaced avoidance. Action emerged naturally, without force. Chapter 10. The quiet strength. Living as if already dead does not mean courting danger or rejecting life. It means releasing the illusion that life must conform to desire. The warrior accepts loss before it arrives. In doing so, he becomes unshakable. Musashi walked this path to its end. Unattached, disciplined, inwardly free. Fear could not reach him because there was nothing left to threaten. His calm was not comfort, but resolution. Fear survives on the hope of control. End that hope, and fear dissolves. The warrior stands fully in the present, unmoved by imagined futures. Life is faced directly, without bargaining. And in that surrender, true freedom appears.